It's Ericdprince and Uncle Jacq from BlackMenLoveAnime.com, and it's the E&J podcast. Uncle Jacq,
All
Ericdprince.
all right. This is the E&J podcast.
Man, for a minute I was
Yes,
oh my bad, go ahead.
man. In approximately 25 seconds, it's going to be 10:17 p.m. my time. I'm ready to get this rolling.
I was like, where are you going with this? I got you. When when we got done with the last little thing we did, I was looking at my Anchor library to to see the recording, and I could not see that bitch. And I'm like, man, maybe it's just taking a second. And after like a minute, it still wasn't showing up. I was like, damn, we're gonna have to record that whole thing again. But it's all good. It showed up, so never mind.
So
Anyways,
it
though,
popped up eventually.
hell yeah, man. I was just like, man, that was 17 minutes for nothing. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so this podcast, this episode, it's just Game of Thrones, man. Just in general. I guess what you like, what you didn't like, the finale, what moments had you like, ooh, what moments had you like, damn. But hell yeah.
I think the where we could start off with. So, what got you into Game of Thrones?
What got me into Game of Thrones, I went to my dad's house one day, and I don't know what season this was at. Well, to those who know what Game of Thrones know of the show and have seen it, there's one of the episodes where the witch she gives birth, the red-haired witch gives birth to like this weird demon evil spawn thing that's gonna go kill somebody. She does it in a cave. You know what I'm talking about, bro?
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when the Red Witch was casting the spell for Stannis Baratheon
Yeah, there we
because there
go.
was a war of the Five Kings going on. Everybody was trying to claim the throne. I think that may have been like season 1 or 2.
I want
It
to
was
say
somewhere
too.
between season. It was somewhere between season 1 and 2.
Hell yeah, man. I can't. I went to my dad's house. No, this is a mad. Remember, I have never heard of Game of Thrones. I just happened to go to my dad's house, and I come in at the scene where she's giving birth to this thing in the cave, and it zooms or pans in up her leg, and it shows the motherfucking claw, not the hand, but the claw come out of her vagina and pull itself out. I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then my dad was like, "This is Game of Thrones. It's a great show." Then a little bit after that, I started watching it, and I was just like, "Yo, this is wild. This is wild." And that's how I got into it, though, man. By the time I got into it, I think the first 4 or 5 seasons were already done, so I was able to really just binge watch and catch up. But man,
Okay,
it was great. What about you?
man. So, uh, I was unaware of what Game of Thrones was myself as well before I got into it. What got me into it? You heard of a company called Telltale Games? They made the
Mm-mm.
Walking Dead series, a couple other series, like what's another one they did besides The Walking Dead?
I'm
You ain't never
familiar,
heard of them?
familiar with Walking Dead. I know they got a whole bunch of games and shit. I just didn't know Telltale Games was the manufacturer, or I guess what you call them, producer.
Well, they got their own company. It's defunct now. They company out of business now. But yeah, they made interactive story based games. And so, you make your decisions, the characters make their decisions each and every episode. It affects how the plot of the story is gonna go, yada yada yada. And so they had a Game of Thrones series, right? Now I like to watch people, play through games and their little commentary and whatnot. I've been seeing people make their choices and everything. So I said, I ain't never heard of this Telltale Games, and I don't see nobody else really recording. Let me go ahead and check it out. There's some medieval type stuff reminding me of Spartacus and some more mess. So yeah, I can go ahead and get jiggy with this. The man's making his choices and everything else. Now the storyline for the game is based off of minor characters from a Game of Thrones series, you know, because it's based off a novel. And is characters that Telltale did, they just chose like a minor house in the north and they little interactions and the family members of this minor house
Mm-hmm.
and how everybody was, you know, on that political power. Every move is a chess move, you know what I'm saying? And so it happens, the story, it picks up right after the Red Wedding.
Oh
Right
wow.
after the Red Wedding when uh uh Rob Stark, Catelyn Stark, all of them get killed. All of them get massacred. All of them get slaughtered. And the house name is House Forrester. And so the father of the house, he gets killed off. One of the sons of the house, he gets knocked out and incapacitated. And so the story picks up from a squire who ends up getting sent to the wall. Okay. Now, long story short, uh it gets to a point in the story where the family is trying to hold on to power, but because of uh the not the phrase, the flayed house, the house with the flayed man.
Okay.
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? The really sick guy that had Reek with him. You know who I'm talking about.
I'm trying to remember his name. I remember him from the War of the Bastards, the Battle of the Bastards. I just don't forget
The
his.
Boltons. That's what it is.
I saw, yeah.
House Bolton. Yeah. They uh they was basically, you know, taking over the north. And so you see this whole power struggle going on because House Forrester, they would farm the ironwood from the trees and make shield and everything else. And so this is how this family, how this house, how this minor house was able to hold on to their little bit of power or whatever. So they losing it, and while they in the middle of losing it, they trying to hold on to their strength. So they need the family together. So what the mother of the house does, she sends a raven off to get a message to the other brother that was put on exile to come back into the fold. And so you see him trying to gather a little bit of army of mercenaries and fucking gladiator soldiers, and he's interacting with fucking Daenerys and the while her dragons are still babies. And the whole point of him is to get back to Westeros so he could be with his family. And so the episode when he gets to his family is the same episode when his younger brother that was holding down the house and everything else, the one that got incapacitated right outside the Red Wedding, he was fucked
Mm-hmm.
up. And so he had to build his strength back up because he was a cripple. You know what I'm saying? Now, through the story and everything else, you can make him go out like a hoe, or you can make him, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, nah, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's my house. I don't know who y'all is, and I'm knocking your motherfucking eye out, okay? Just because I'm on some savage stuff, okay? By the time he get back to standing on 2 feet strong again, it's the same time when his brother come into the ports and everything else. But when he come into the house, it's a trap. And then
Booby
at
trap.
the end, like a booby trap, like they get set up by the other house that was creeping in, trying to take over their house. They thought they pushed them out, but they came back in. And it was a trap, it was a setup. They had to get up out of there. It was a pensive situation. And only one of the brothers could survive. You had to leave one of them inside the gates, and one of them was gonna make it out the gates. Now, I did not see this decision coming. I said, Telltale, you gonna make them make this choice? You
Damn.
really gonna make them make this choice? I don't know what choice I would make in this situation because I like both of the brothers. Both of them was cool. You know what I'm saying? In
That
their own
sucks.
little way. And then like I said, damn. So I would move to tears after that. Because the person that was playing to pick the same choice that ultimately I would have made, even though I wouldn't have wanted to make it, but I still would have made it. But
What choice was
dang
that?
it,
Which
the
one was
brother
that?
that the brother that came from Essos, the one that traveled the seas to get the one that was on exile. I would have chose him just for the simple fact that he had this group of mercenary men with him and everything else. All they fighting for is blood and glory. If he die, it ain't like they came to fight for his brother, or if they even know his brother or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that just would have created too much of a like man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to control these niggas.
Got
I
you.
don't know if I'm gonna be able to count on these niggas when it's clutch time. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's war, when we go into war, hey, look, man, we fighting to the death. You got to fight to the death with me. Unless somebody tell me, hey, man, you got to get up out of here, bro. Like, hey, well, then that's what might happen. That's what might have to happen. So ultimately, the story ends up with House Forrester falling. Some of the characters can survive from House Forrester, but it still falls as a house. But in the end, when people are telling the story about the house and it's going all based off of your decisions and everything else, they'll have the little description of the house. You know, the different descriptions be the different endings that a person get, because all of them could die really. But you know, it's how it happens. It's how it happens and the decisions that everybody makes in the scenes and dynamic, and it's crazy. So after that, I had to say, well, what the heck is Game of Thrones? Because I didn't know what Game of Thrones was. And when I researched it and I found out it was based off a novel series, then it was an HBO series, I said, well, I'll be damned. I started talking to my roommate about it. He said, yeah, man, Game of Thrones, that shit. I mean, motherfuckers in the joint was telling me all about it. I said, what? How you been locked up for 47 years, but you know what Game of Thrones is? This show been out for going on 4 years at this point, because we was coming up on season 5, but this nigga only been out of jail.
Eric the Prince here. And if you were like me and wanted to start a podcast but had no idea where to begin, Anchor is the easiest way to get started. They give you everything you need for free. Free. I'm saying it again. No money. Free. And I didn't even get started off my laptop or my computer. I got started off my phone, and here I am now, and you're listening to me. They give you all the tools you need to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. Plus, they distribute it everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you name it. To top it all off, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So go ahead and download that Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
God damn. Um, what's his name? Robert Baratheon's. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Robert Baratheon's bastard son. I think it's Gentry. Is that his name?
Yeah, yeah, Gendry.
Yeah, he had a hell of a come up too, man. This nigga's going from being sacrificed to being a lord of a damn. I don't know what he was, the lord of Stormwind, something like that. Shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Busted all your.
House Baratheon,
Yeah,
because all the other Baratheons was dead. Stannis was dead. Robert Baratheon was dead. The other dude, the younger brother, was dead. Nobody had claim to the throne. He was the son of Robert. They made him a king, queen. The Queen Daenerys made him a lord. Now he the lord of House Baratheon. That's one of the great houses.
mm. Ugh, jeez. I
But
didn't like.
I think that one's in the north, so I think that's in the north now. I don't know.
Mm, ugh, excuse me, my bad.
I could be wrong about that one.
Ugh, well, one thing I do know for sure, I would have died way early in the show if I was in that bitch. Taking my blackness out of it. If I was a regular character, a regular ass citizen, I don't even know, man. I don't even know, bro.
I don't know, man. I would just try to make sure that I'm always aligned with whoever's on the living side, man.
To be honest, it's like,
On
you
some real spittle, man, I'd have become a maester.
know what? That's funny because I could see you being a maester. Could see you being a you.
I said, forget the bullshit. I'm finna become a maester on y'all dudes, man.
Hey,
They the only ones I seen that didn't die.
oh
The
man,
only one that did die was Kyburn. He the
my,
only one.
that's a good point. Makes like a slick had the safest. safest I guess positions. So that was your foray into the Game of Thrones. Uh,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So after I did all that research and everything else, uh, yeah, I was like, man, I like this show because I see it's pulling from elements from medieval, feudalism systems and everything else, and Viking lore and Druid mysticism and all this other cool blah blah. I said, okay, I like this. I was working on my own story at the time. I said, well, I see how they did all this with the European elements. I know I could do this with some African elements and
mm,
produce something that's even greater. Just because the dynamic structure of the houses and everything else, you got the great houses, then you got the minor houses, and then you got everybody else that's just beneath all of that, the common folk that's just doing what they doing, trying to survive and make it. You know what I'm saying? But they still being taken care of by whatever house that they under. You know what I'm saying? So loyalty was a big thing in this country, this world. An oath was a big thing in this world. So be known as an oath breaker, to be known as a king slayer, to be known as these titles and everything else. You know what I'm saying? That's something major. That's something major right there. Shoot, I said
who's your
shit.
favorite character?
Man,
I had to pick
my
one.
favorite, my favorite character, I ain't even gonna lie, man, is Bran Stark.
Oh, didn't see that coming.
It's Bran Stark. And then right after that, it's Arya Stark. And then right after that, it's my nigga Bronn.
Braun. I thought you just said Bran first.
No, I said Bran. Bronn was the one that was fighting for Tyrion.
Braun. Oh, I got you. The nigga who pretty much was just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? If anybody hires you to kill me, I mean, just, tell me what the price is, I'll double it. That dude.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, he was clutch. He was cool. Can't lie.
Yeah,
I
he
can't
he
lie.
he came in clutch on many occasions. Out of nowhere.
Um, if I had to pick a favorite, yeah, he did come clutching a lot of times. If I had to pick a favorite, really it would be between the Hound. It really between Arya and the Hound. I don't know what they're real close to me because I'm gonna say Lady Brienne too. Arya, the Hound, and Lady Brienne. It's like a toss up because Arya was just cool as shit to me. She had a whole transformation from little mischievous girl to fucking baby faced assassin who can take your face and still assassin. That shit was epic. That shit was cool. I like the
Mm-hmm.
Hound because man, he just never had a fair shot in life, and he was just like, man, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna keep on living, and he just kept doing whatever it was he needed to do. I felt like in a lot of ways, man, black people could really understand where he was coming from, not in terms of him killing people, but in terms of the fact that he just kept getting dealt bad hands, just kept living life and making the best of it, man. Um, and then Lady Brienne. Man, she was just cool to me. I just thought it was cool to see a big ass woman fighting with these other niggas and holding her own, especially the fight between the Hound and her. That was a man. That shit had me on the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh, yo, these niggas is getting it in, bro. These niggas is
Hey,
this is a
now
workshop.
that was an epic fight, man. That was
Yeah,
definitely an epic fight. I said, now you know what? She done did all this and held her own. I said, hey, look, she qualified and capable with the sword now.
for real. I didn't think she was gonna win that shit. I did not think she was gonna win that shit. But damn, she deserved everything she got in that series, man. I like Lady Brienne. She was honorable. I guess that's what I really like about her. She always tried to do the right thing, and that is not easy to do in the world of Game of Thrones, where it seems like everybody's trying to do the wrong thing. But
Yeah, so many people do so much cutthroat stuff and deceit. The deceit element is what really make things, seem like well damn, like should I be rooting for this person or shouldn't I be rooting for this person? because like they seem like they are ally and it looks like they are ally, but then whole time they doing something else. A deceit is a lie, but you trying to pass it off as the truth discreetly and everything else. So, it may seem like you got an honorable ally until that nigga stab you in the back, set you up to be stabbed in the back, poison you or do something like that. Man, look,
That's how
you
I felt
got
with Littlefinger, man. I thought Littlefinger was gonna be a good ally to the main Robert Stark, to the main character in the first season at least of the Starks, the dad of the Stark. I didn't think he was gonna betray him like that, but he sure damn did with the quickness.
I didn't think he would neither. In fact, I didn't. I really didn't even notice that he did really until maybe like after Ned was dead. Like right. I'm like, damn, it's your fault. You did that. Oh no. But I see why. But I see why. Said I've been trying to get at your wife my whole goddamn gone life, all the way up to that point till after they was both dead, Ned and Catelyn, and then when he went to the other land where her sister was ruling that the Vale, and he was like, "There's one woman that I ever loved in life.
Mm,
It
mm,
was your
mm,
sister."
bitch. Now get outside this moon gate, this moon drop.
Okay,
That shit is
okay.
wild. If anybody was playing the Game of Thrones, that nigga Littlefinger was playing the Game of Thrones.
He was
Oh,
playing. He was playing hard. He said, "I don't even care. What y'all don't even realize is that I know I can get the throne. Now that I see how this go on, I know I can get it. Now that these Targaryens is out to play, I know I can get it. It's just a
hell
matter
yeah.
of time."
Man, well, something I didn't like, and I guess this goes back to episode 3 of our podcast. But the black people, man, anytime that the black or a dark skinned person was shown, it was pretty much them being slaves. Besides, like the one time when it showed Daenerys almost get sold off to I don't know the warlocks or whoever, Slavers Bay. I forget the names, but man, for the most part, it was just like, damn, either you are wilding and you got man, I don't know, maybe
What
I'm
about my man that was trying to become the king of Karth?
recall.
Karth, the black dude that the rich black dude that Daenerys, she locked him away in the vault.
Yeah. That's the one I was talking about. Other than him, you don't really see no black people until it shows you like, oh, they're all slaves, or oh, they're all in the in the other part of the lands where there's slavers and Dothraki or Unsullied. Like it showed like one or two black folk who even then weren't like honorable black folk, but I guess nobody is in the show. But then it just shows a whole bunch of damn slaves and shit. I'm just like, well, damn.
Hey, at this point in my life, you know, unless it's being produced by black people, I don't expect them to show black people in a equal light, a equal footing, or anything other than how they already do it now in the media. And so it's not that I don't get upset about it or I don't be like, damn, that's fucked up. I just be like, man, I expect this shit. I actually expect it just because I know the history that what they teach and everything else and how the mindsets people get brought up with. So I can understand why in an artistic format you would be like, it's all right to point it out there like this because in your reality it's already like that.
That shit is wild, man. Hey, all I'm saying is Cersei was the most evilest of bitches, and in the end, she still was able to die with her man or her man, her being in her man's arms, being crushed under rubble. Missandei, she was loyal, upright, and come from the most horriblest of backgrounds, and she got her head cut off. Like, man, where's the justice? That shit's stupid.
The justice would have been the story being wrapped up in episode 5 and then episode 6 being an epilogue episode because
Yeah, the new
they could have did everything like how See, and this is my problem with HBO shows and just I think long running shows in general. They don't really know how to they know how to speed it up. You know, they know how to get on track and then really speed it up. But when it comes to that destination, when it's time to really like end the show for real, like you gotta slow it down and like really like, okay, you gotta give people enough clarity to the point where they can say this is a good ending. Whether, you know, it's the ending that they thought it was gonna be or whatever, it gotta be a good ending. You know, it gotta be a closeout. It gotta be a closeout to the book. And at the end of this show, they just rushed some stuff and put too much in the cinematography over the storytelling element. They tried to let the scenes tell the story versus the actual characters telling the story because they acted the story out.
They did a lot of dumb shit, man. I don't know. I don't understand because it seems to me like as cool as Arya was with the many face god and putting on different faces and assassinating people, it seemed like
I
that.
thought it was the many faced god that was saving Arya in the when she was running around in episode 5, because like I'm seeing this one little random uh uh chick in freaking King's Landing that's, you know, helping her up and everything else, and then she pop up again when they was in the when they was all like hiding out, and she was like, hey y'all, we got to get up out of here because it really ain't even safe up in here. And then when the both of them run out because it was only the two of them, I'm like, oh, okay, let me find out this nigga Jacq and just go and just pull a mask off and be like, hey, what's happening? You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
funny.
we here to do some for real deal stuff. Nah, because
It-
Shorty
it's-
ended up dying and Arya survives and just witnesses more death and destruction. I was like, what was that for? For you to just tell me some stuff that I'm already aware is going on? You wanted to elongate that with this? Come on now. This is, I mean, you know, it's beautiful and torturous to watch at the same time because, you know, I see the elements of what they putting up in there, but you don't have to go to that length to tell me that this is what happened. Okay, you could do all that and spend less money making a dang on episode. But I don't know. That's a scriptwriter's thing.
I feel like they just left it. I feel like they could have did more. For you to have a whole bunch of episodes where Arya had to go through this training to be an assassin, this, and that, and then just to end none of it mattering, and for her to just travel and see the world on a ship. I don't know. I felt like it was kind of for nothing.
And see, the thing about it, they said that they were planning on having her as killing the Night King. They was planning on doing this in season 3. So if you're gonna do all this
Damn.
big old build up for Arya to be something that's gonna really do something that's major for the world of Westeros,
Westeros.
Essos, you know what I'm saying? Because this is Westeros and Essos. You know, I think the whole world can shoot at the Night King, get his way. He gonna take over all of Westeros and spread over there. Or keep
Yeah.
on going west. Ain't no dang on telling. Ain't no dang on telling. But all we know, we don't want him to win. And so if they gonna make her to do this, and I said, man, this is pointless. You hyped her up to do something, she did it, and then after that, nothing else really mattered because the stuff that you was pulling, that storyline, the Battle of the Queens, I said, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? I like that, you know, but then it's like, okay, uh, it's basically like in a game of chess, you know, she didn't have to take out all those pawns, and Cersei didn't have to make her people pawns neither, but she made her people pawns. And so what Daenerys did in the game of war, she took out them pawns. She seen the whole thing of King's Landing as something that needed to be obliterated instead of one person in King's Landing that needed to be obliterated. You could have liberated those people. Those
Shit,
people was
Daenerys
under
flipped
their
the whole
whole. You don't know
chessboard.
what them people just went through. Them people just went through a goddamn major cataclysm. Ain't nobody think the chapel was just gonna burst into green flames. Ain't nobody see that shit happening. Everybody see that shit happening. I'm glad I prayed yesterday and didn't go today. Dang it.
I didn't see that coming. That was some. Man, that was the equivalent of the motherfucking nuke the first time it was used. That shit was amazing.
For real.
I
For
ain't.
real. They used that in season 2 when Stannis tried to take over Kingsland. It was like, nah, my nigga. You got something unforeseen, my nigga.
Boom. He almost had it. If it wasn't for that shit, Stannis almost he would have took it, in my opinion. Or it would have been a hell of a lot closer.
Hey, it would have
Well,
been a greater battle, but I think he still would have lost. I don't think nobody was messing with Tyler.
mm, fair enough. Lannisters wasn't to be fucked with, man. They meant business.
Nah. And then like the lore of the world, like, because I guess like the HBO when they drop the DVD series for the whole seasons or whatever, they be having like the little lores that be accompanying the seasons and everything else. They got them on YouTube, and it's just talking about the different stories of the houses. And man, how the Lannisters got their houses, them some cunning individuals.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to check that shit out. It's on you. Like, what you look up on YouTube? Just
Game of
no lore.
Thrones season 1 lore. Game of
Hmm.
Yep, season 1, season 2.
How long are videos? Like 5 minutes or legit 30 minutes?
Well, they short stories. They got compilation videos where it's like the whole season. It's about like an hour long of just like different short stories of different characters and houses.
Mm,
So each season is about an hour length worth of lore.
gotcha. I might check that out. That's interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Gives you a whole new understanding of the world and the dynamics of it. Because when you start off season 1, it's like you're not really starting off in the beginning of the story. You're starting off like after some stuff already did happen or some stuff that went on. But it's like, okay, well, this is it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things is already in motion. Like if you start off season 1, episode 1, like, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was the general feeling that I had until like, about season 3 when I was like, okay, this is what's going on.
Them
Really
motherfuckers.
at the end of episode 1 when Jamie pushed Bran out the window. I said,
Hey,
damn,
that was a great ending. I was just like, whoop,
whoa, whoa.
whoop. I remember thinking, damn, when this episode, yeah, I think it was the first episode when that shit started off and they cut off dude's head because he saw a Nightwalker. I was just like, okay, what the fuck is a Nightwalker?
It
But
wasn't that he seen a Nightwalker. It was because he ran away from his post at the Night's Watch. That's why he got his head chopped off.
you're right, you're right. When he said that he saw a Nightwalker, I was just like, what the fuck is a Nightwalker?
Yep.
And then I was just like, isn't that a legend, father? Anyway, so
They say,
um,
yeah, we're not gonna worry about this for about season, son. By that time, I'll be dead. So don't you even worry about it. Don't you even
sounds
worry
like
about it, because you're going to find out about it, but I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not going to.
That's
That
how it
sounds like
ended up going.
I didn't think Robert was gonna get his head. I mean Ned. I didn't think he was gonna get his head cut off. Man, that shit was wild. But
Shit, I ain't think that Robert was going to get stabbed up like that.
well, I guess that's the name of the. I guess that's the name of the
You
name
can
of the
see
game.
why it happened, but it's like, damn, for it to just happen like that, that's bogus as hell.
I thought it was. I think it was bogus that Tyrion, the midget, did not die. I think he, in hindsight, looking at the way the show ended, it would have been better if Tyrion died somewhere. I don't know, just in one of the wars, like in the last season, one of the battles, as opposed to him becoming a prisoner, then Grey Worm bringing him up to the little, I don't know, summit meeting or whatever. And when he tried to talk, Grey Worm was like, shut the fuck up. But he still was able to talk for like 20 minutes anyway, and then pretty much elect Bran to be king. I thought that was kind of lame. I feel like they kept him around just because I don't know. I don't really know to be honest. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I feel like it was
Hey,
lame.
he's a fan favorite, man. If he would have died at any point in the show, I would have been upset about it. Just because I've been like, well, shit, man. You know, he brought a lot of flavor to the show, and I was like, man, I think that's like my top 4 character, Tyrion. You know,
He's definitely a fan favorite. All I'm saying is that they made it clear, and it was known that he was a fan favorite by to me from the way it ended. It was just like I don't know, man. It was corny. Everything
can
about
we
the
say
whole
he survived by the power of the plot?
by the power of the what?
By the power of the plot.
Ah man, see, I ain't even gonna say all that. That motherfucker was smart as hell. I can't even flex. I could I could see. I don't know, man. It's not even if he didn't die, just
Well,
the way
see, the thing about it, see, like he not the one that killed Daenerys. All that he did was what he did was relinquish his position as the hand of the queen. They took him in, and then afterwards, Jon Snow killed Daenerys. Now the only thing about it is that Jon Snow went and talked to him and everything else after he relinquishes some as the hand of the queen. But it's like, okay, you ain't do it, and now they holding you hostage.
no,
Then you
they took him hostage because he let go. He let the Kingslayer go.
that too, that too. When he relinquished himself as the hand of the queen, all that shit played a part.
Mm.
Felt like if he would have kept his spot as the hand of the queen, she may have not did that shit like that. I don't know. I don't know, man. Because I could actually see this. Like I said, I could see the show ending a way that's a lot better. But the way that they ended it, you know what? If it makes the world a better place, and this is what the dude that's seen all this stuff go on, if you say that it's probably better for this dude to stay alive, all right.
I guess I'm really just nitpicking at the fact the way that they ended it with Tyrion. It would have been better to me if he would have died some point before then, or they should have kept him alive, but kept I don't know wrote it better instead of it just the way he I don't know, man.
They
I'm
should
kind
have they should have sent him to the wall.
oh, that would have been neat. That would have been
Now,
neat.
now if they would have sent him to the wall, I would have been like, you know what? That's so out of the box from what I was expecting. I ain't even mad at it. He going to the wall with Jamie. All right. I'm sorry, not Jamie. John. All right.
Yo, I didn't get the end. So did John just decide to say just abandon the wall and go live with the Wildings?
Well, he's a ranger, and so he's ranging in the areas beyond the north of the wall, and so that's
Oh,
his post outside of there.
never mind, never mind. Got you. I thought it was I definitely appreciated the character development in Jon Snow, just from going from peaceful life to the wall to the king of the wildlings. That whole little everything about him was pretty cool to me. I like John. I like John. I'm a Jon Snow ass nigga.
Hey man, he went from being a bastard to being the king of the north, man.
Hey, what did you think when the Night King shot down Daenerys' dragon? When he threw that motherfucking spear and that said boop, shot the damn dragon straight down. To be honest, both the times, two of the most epic moments in the show was when the dragons died. The first time with the Night King, and then when it showed him bring that bitch back to life with blue eyes, and then when the dude with the golden fleet or whatever shot down the other one, not Drogon, but the other one with the motherfucking spears from the ship. But the first time the thing went through that thing's heart, the music stopped and everything on the show. I was just like, oh shit, I did not see that coming. Then another one went through the thing's neck. I was like, oh shit, they really killed the dragon. They really killed the dragon. That motherfucker went down. I was like, whoa,
He
just
said
like
the music stopped. That's how
for
you
real,
know
but
that's how you know it's up snap.
For real,
That's
John.
what I'm talking about with good cinematography, because that music element right there. Once you cut the music on some stuff, you thought it was. Mm-mm.
For real, bro. That shit had me like, whoa, my mouth dropped open, legit. I did not see that dragon dying coming. That had me like a character, like when an important character who I thought was gonna live died. I was in the same boat with the dragon. I was like, damn, they really killed the dragon. How y'all gonna take over King's Landing now? But shit, Drogon was enough, my nigga. I don't know what would have happened if the other dragon would have lived. All that shit would have happened way quicker.
For real, for real.
Hell no. I like the on some alpha male strategy shit. The Greyjoy King, he was a G, man. That nigga was a piece of work. He was getting in Cersei's panties and everything, talking that cash money shit.
For real, for real. Said,
Yeah.
man, finessed the queen out of draws and killed her twin.
That nigga said, "Am I better than the Kingslayer?" In regards to the sex, am I better than the Kingslayer? Like, oh shit, boy, you got balls like a motherfucker.
He said, I got to know.
I got to know.
He said, I know. He said, I know I'm better than that other fat nigga. So am I better than that other nigga that you been with?
That's funny. It's really funny though, cause like niggas would really be like that in real life. Some niggas would really do that shit. I
Oh yeah, man.
fuck you better than he did. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely, definitely, man. I think in the end, the Starks won the most out of the whole series. Like considering everything, because
Yeah.
now that they're an independent nation, it's no longer the king over the seven kingdoms. It's the king over the six kingdoms in the north, which is an independent nation of its own. And there's a queen of the north now. It's a queen of the north now, the first queen of the north, Sansa Stark. I don't know how it's gonna play out for the future of them and everything else, but man, they got what they wanted.
If I had to pick, I don't know who I'd say had the best character development. It'd either be Jon Snow or it'd be Sansa. Sansa, man, I don't know. She's came a long way, man. She came a long way from Joffrey to Lord Bolton to all them motherfuckers, man. You know what? I'm gonna go with Sansa. I think Sansa has the better character development over Jon Snow. Cause on some real shit, Jon Snow just kept dying and fighting. Sansa went through a whole bunch of different abusive ass scenarios and was still a gangster in the end.
Yeah, John was a soldier. John was a fighter. John was a warrior. You know, that was his tale. Was a warrior's tale that turned into a king's tale. You know, because he realized he was royalty. You know, he was always a bastard his whole life, but then he realized he was another kind of royalty, and then it didn't even matter anymore because he wasn't who he thought he was, but he knew who he always was, and that's who he always was gonna be. And so in the end, when he killed her, it was the right decision at the wrong time at the wrong moment.
Mm. That nigga was not trying to have sex with his auntie no more.
So, well, if it's like this, if it's like this, I just
I
don't
think
know.
it's funny that Daenerys was still trying to fuck this nigga. I'm just like, damn, man. I mean, I guess y'all already didn't fuck once, but I mean, I don't know. Once I find out you my aunt, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna still have sex with you. I don't think I'm still gonna do that shit. I remember I was watching it with Brittany, and Brittany was like, you know, things might have been different for Jon Snow if he would have, with the flow and was like, yeah, I still love you, Daenerys, and had sex and all that stuff with her. And then I was like, yeah, but I don't know too many guys that are gonna willingly have sex with their auntie after they find out it's their auntie. That shit's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's his name? The the bald headed dude who used to be the hand. He was the hand with Tywin. I forget his name. He always had a whole bunch of whispers, and he was a spy.
Varys.
Um, Varys. I was gonna say Valeris. Yeah, Varys. He said
Yeah.
the similar thing. He was talking to Tywin, and Tywin said something, something, something. You know, that John and Daenerys wouldn't be the first. Family that had sex and that had a child together, something like that. And then Varys was like, "Yeah, but John grew up in the North. He's not a Targaryen. I don't think he's gonna want to do that." I was at the same shit, just like, "Yeah, man, not too many two regular niggas is gonna fuck their family, yo."
Nah.
But yeah, Masters had the best job ever, man. The Slick was the safest. They Slick was the well, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, they had a safe ass job. I didn't
Hey,
think about
hey,
that.
buddy said if the world fall, so we still gonna be here to remember it all.
Mm, mm, mm. Ugh.
But I
Yo,
think I think they still would have been taken care of if the Night King had his way.
oh yeah,
I
they
know they
all
would have. I know they would have. They all would have been dead. Unless y'all
mm,
just do some shit to make the fucking thing go underground and seal some shit away because it's some super duper technology that the Night King didn't know y'all had, that nobody knew y'all had, like at all. Okay, okay. But other than something super sophisticated like that, no, y'all did.
mm. Yo, this is not this this is not Game of Thrones related. You know who Anthony Joshua is?
Yeah, you talking about the British boxer?
Hell yeah. So, him and Deontay Wilder been chomping at the bits for a minute. Like, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if you know, but Anthony Joshua fought tonight, and the dude who he was gonna fight, it was this black guy from New York. He got caught using performance enhancing drugs. So they had to come up with a replacement, like a late substitute for Anthony Joshua to fight
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
So I don't know if you know who he's fighting or if you ever seen him or looked at him, but the dude's name is Andy Ruiz Jr., this Mexican dude.
yeah.
He's sloppy, he's fat, but he throws his punches and shit. But still, Anthony was, supposed to beat him. Anthony has just lost. Anthony has lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., and Andy Ruiz Jr. is the new WBA, IBF, and WBA heavyweight title holder, the first Mexican heavyweight champ in history. Yo, this shit is wild. That did
And
not
the
see that.
new,
Yes, my nigga.
hey,
I'm
ole,
just saying,
ole, ole, ole,
look at Anthony
Tito,
built like
Tito.
bro, this shit is crazy. Damn,
Ah! Say,
did
get
not
the
see
fuck
that
out
coming.
of here, Holmes. Get the fuck out of here. Who you thought
That's
this
crazy.
was? Boy, this a repeat, boy.
I don't think he's gonna dang, that's crazy.
That's
This is
wild.
crazy.
What round he go down there?
Man, this nigga
Well, he got
Anthony,
KO. He got knocked out.
he didn't well, okay. Anthony dropped the Mexican in the second round. The Mexican dropped Anthony in the third round, I think. Then it went to the seventh round, and the Mexican dropped Anthony. I need to stop saying the Mexican. Andy Ruiz Jr. He dropped Anthony twice in the seventh round, and then the referee told. I'm reading this shit off my report. The referee told Joshua, "Okay, come forward so you can fight, so you can back down. You get
Yeah,
back up." The
yeah,
referee's like,
yeah.
"All right, come on, come forward." And Joshua did not come forward to keep fighting, and then the referee stopped the fight.
Oh man. Well, that's
For
it.
real, bro. And now, and this is what everybody was saying too. They were saying Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, you guys need to fight before one of y'all loses and everything just goes to shit and y'all don't fight each other or all the millions on the table goes away. And look what the fuck happened, man. Damn, that's crazy. I did not
Yep.
see this coming.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
This is not Game of Thrones related, but damn it,
Hey, look
boxing is
here,
the game
man.
of
We talking about power.
women.
We talking
Power.
about power. You had the deal on the table. You were supposed to align with me then. You didn't align with me then, so now you try to go and do some other stuff in the world that was a struggle for power in your own nation without my back and without my blessing. Oh yeah, man, you was doomed to fall, man. You was
Mm.
doomed to fall.
Damn. Damn, damn. I did not see that coming. Anyways, wow. And it's crazy because Joshua would have been a tougher fight for Deontay than this guy who just beat Joshua, Andy Ruiz. He gonna stand no chance against Deontay if they fight. But anyways, hey, that's besides the point. I just wanted to throw that out there. Shocking news breaking. Not really shocking, not really news, but if you watch boxing or you know boxing, this shit was pretty big. That's pretty tight.
Hey, hey. Now you know what? I don't know. Well, they do the rematch. They got to do the rematch. They got to
Mhm.
do the rematch. If they don't do the rematch, man, they gonna miss out. But I know Deontay. He on his own. He on his own warpath himself. Now I don't know if he. We gotta see how he gonna keep on doing. I hope
Yeah, I
he
know,
keep on
right?
winning. I hope he
Did,
keep on winning. And shoot,
did you see his fight against Luis Ortiz?
yeah, I did.
Yo, I I thought he was finna lose that bitch. Lose King Kong, Luis Ortiz was on his ass. I think he'll if they fight again, I think Ortiz will beat him. Deontay's not that good. He's good, but it's just like, damn, man. You you got a lot of
After a certain point, he's predictable to a point.
yeah, yeah, damn. That was crazy. Anyways, though, man, I guess
Unstoppable, powerful, but predictable. And see, when people moving like that, you know how this coming and everything else, be able to redirect it. All you need is a good counter, a
mm.
good counter punch. That's all you need. That's all you need. Might need a few of them. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Damn, damn.
unless you got power equal or greater, you gonna need a few of them. But anyways, back to Game of Thrones,
Dang, yo.
man.
I would have put $100 on this nigga, Andy Ruiz. I don't know how much money I would have made.
Hey, look here. Let me ask you a question, man. If you had to have somebody fight for you in a legal fight in the legal field,
I did not see that.
what is what? Hey, look. Just imagine if that became a thing. People had to pick boxers, right, to fight for them in a court of law.
See, I thought you was gonna say if you had to pick somebody to defend you in trial by combat, like in Game
Mm-hmm.
of Thrones, who would it
That's what
have
I'm
been?
saying. Trial by combat, man. You had to pick. You got to pick a boxer. Trial by combat, or any other martial artist. But I'm just sticking with boxing.
Dead or alive, or just alive?
Well, dead or alive, who would you pick?
Man, if I had to get dead or alive, it'd really be and they're and I'm assuming they're still able to box, regardless of how old they are or anything like that. They can still defend me. If I had to pick
Live
somebody
or dead in their prime?
dead in their prime, ooh, it had to be between Mike Tyson and um, what's that dude's name? Joe Lewis. I think that's his name. He's dead now, but
Joe Louis.
yeah, man. I
Uh,
think that's pretty sure. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind Floyd or Pacquiao either. For real, for real. What about you?
man, I'm gonna have
There's
to
a
say,
lot of fucking boxers, man. Shit, Canelo, GGG.
I'm
There's a
gonna have
couple of them.
I'm gonna have to say Deontay Wilder. I'm gonna have to say Mike Tyson, and then I'm gonna have to say George Foreman. That,
Ooh, George, I didn't see that coming. Okay.
that's it. That's all.
Hmm. Hmm. Did you when the trial by combat happened for Tyrion, did you think that his the dude he picked was gonna beat the mountain?
I thought that if he defeated the Mountain, it would have been a greater tale for the Martells family because they were coming into the season, into the fold and everything. So with him defeating the Mountain, I thought it would have been great. I wouldn't have known how it would have affected the show. But then when he lost, I was like, whoa, damn, man.
Got
He
his fucking eyes poked in. I was like, oh,
That man had his whole skull caved in, bro. That
he
man.
was screaming too. He was screaming like a motherfucker when that happened, just on the ground screaming.
I was screaming like a pig. Squeal for me.
I know
That,
that shit
that,
hurt.
that man was sick. You know, that's the reason why the Hound was afraid of fire because of his brother. And that was
Yeah,
crazy, man. They talk about him in some of the lores in the Game of Thrones the lore videos I mentioned earlier. Had just he been like that his whole life.
that's wild. I know they touched on it in the show just a little bit that the mountain was the reason that the hound's face was all lit on fire and shit, but they didn't really go in depth on it. You just know they didn't like each other.
Yeah, man. So basically, how it happened, they was playing with some toys, right? The Hound, he was playing with some toys that belonged to the Mountain, and when the Mountain seen his brother playing with his toys, he got upset about it, and he beat him up, and then he pushed his head into the fire pit.
What the fuck, boy? Damn,
And he was
that's a
known
hell of
for
a punch.
doing, he was known for just doing like evil shit like that.
God, that's fucked up,
And everything that dude was screaming about was true. He did do that. He did all that.
bro. Did you Okay, so you remember that lady who was going shame
Yeah,
to Cersei, and
yeah,
then when the tide eventually turned, Cersei had her locked up, and it shows she had the mountain. Oh man, I'm trying to picture it, like say it so the picture comes up in your head. But she had the lady like in a dungeon, and she has her chained to a table, and then
yeah,
she says the mountain come in, and like the episode kind of ends with you knowing the mountain is raping this lady or having sex with her.
yeah. He's having his
So
way
like,
with.
yeah. So way back then when that happened, I remember watching it, and the camera was on the mountain, and it showed him start to take his helmet off. Then right before it like came all the way off, it flashed over to the nun who was saying shame, and she started screaming. Like you knew that she didn't like what she looked at. So, anyways, fast forward to the finale when the Hound and the Mountain were fighting, and the Mountain took off his helmet and all that, and I saw what was up under there. It immediately made me go back to that moment when he was having his way with her, and I was just thinking like, oh my God, this is what you had to see on top of you. Oh,
That shit
oh, I
was
can't
horrible.
even imagine. And then I was thinking, if this is what his fucking head and face looks like, I can't even imagine what his junk, his dick, the belly, all the other shit you're gonna have to deal with looks like. He looked like he don't shower. He looked like when he was fighting the Hound, he looked like a fucking zombie, man. I was just like, oh shit,
That's basically what he was an undead soldier. An undead
that shit,
soldier.
that shit is wild.
That's basically what he was to the core of his being. And it didn't even matter, you know what I'm saying? Because he served one purpose, one person, and in the end, he only defied orders one time, and that was to defeat one person that he had one long standing beef with. Anybody else, it would have just been like, okay, well, if you finna run up to try to get the queen, I'm finna kill you. Okay.
Finna kill you. Just like that. I'll take one step forward and you know what that means.
Okay, hold on, nigga. Hey, look, you gonna know it. You standing your ground right over there talking to her and everything else. She can hear you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I see the conversation is over with. She walking away. You walk. Hold up, nigga. He make that one step. Don't make another one. Don't make another one. I'll rip your head off.
Literally. Like,
I didn't
damn.
see that happen. He popped the old boy's head off like he was a action figure.
Oh, wait, what you talking about?
I'm talking about. I think this might have been in season 5 or season 6. This was before the whole, you know, was it? No, this was after the Shame incident. Yeah, this was after the Shame incident. This is before she blew up the Citadel. This is before when Cersei blew up the Citadel, and some of the dudes from the Sept, you know, the ones with the stars carved in on their foreheads, they came
Yeah.
at her about something. And she was
Ah,
like,
yeah.
they were like, man, them dudes ain't know what to do after that.
Hell no. They said, oh, we don't want this smoke.
uh-uh. No, we ain't ready for that type of action.
That's funny.
Hey, look here, man. I don't know, man. The only thing that you could do, man, to a thing like that, you gotta chop it up, man. You gotta chop it up. You gotta chop it up, man. That's the only thing. You gotta surround it, get it pinned down, and chop it up. It's going eventually you'll be able to get to them. You can only deal with so many things at once with all that strength.
I would hope.
I would hope you fighting a sentient zombie. Hey, look here, man. Hey, you know what's the cheapest thing that I didn't know that you could do in certain RPG games? Like if you fighting a zombie enemy type character, to kill them quickly, you just feed them a potion.
What do you mean?
Like the same type of potion that you would give to the characters in order to increase their life points and everything because they low on health. You give this potion to the zombie, and then the life-giving qualities effects that it has on the undead character is death dealing, and then it dies.
Huh. I guess that's a way of. I mean, it makes sense in that sense if the person you're giving it to is kind of dead already.
I mean, that's just some stuff going on in the RPG world. I don't know how it will work with the mountain. I'm gonna tell you how it worked with the mountain. We gotta either burn him alive, with dragon fire, or the green dragon glass fire, or like I said, we gotta cut him up.
To be honest, I would have loved to see a fight between him and some of the undead or some of the Night Walkers. I mean, I would have loved to
Oh
see how
yeah,
he did against them.
oh yeah, man, that would have been cold.
Hell yeah,
That would have been cold. That would have been dynamic.
for real, for real. That would they could have did a lot with so much of the stuff they. I mean, they did do a lot. Let me shut up. Let me look at this differently. I remember Joe Budden from the Joe Budden podcast made this point. He said, if a show has been giving you amazing content for 7 seasons, are they not allowed to bullshit off on the last one? And I was just like, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but man, if you're gonna give me 7 seasons of
No,
greatness, you
no,
might
they
as well
ain't.
wrap up greatness.
No, they is not. No, they are not. And the reason why is because I've seen it done good. You know, I've seen it done great. I've seen it done horrible. You know, and so I know if this, like I said, if the point of the show was to get Bran on the throne and to get Arya to kill the Night King, then I could see those two events happening. But everything else could have went on the same way, but in a different format.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm I'm cool with. It's not like I don't. What bothers me with how this show ended is you made certain things like it was supposed to be something, and then it's not. You hyped certain something like it was gonna be something, and then all the character development for a certain point really is just unresolved as nothing. You know.
So pretty much the character development was a waste of time and energy.
Yeah, certain things, yeah. Because I mean, like I like the mystery element. Like I like at the end of the story, like if it's gonna conclude to have me wondering, like, okay, well, I wonder what would happen next. If this is the end, what would it be like if it was another story? Like I like that element. But what I don't like is things for me to be seeming like it's unresolved, and I don't understand why it's unresolved. You know what I mean? Maybe not
Yeah.
even under resolved. Maybe that's not the point that I should say. But how you resolved it. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's what I like to say. How they made everything end up happening and everything else. Like I don't know.
No, I agree with you 100%. That's how I feel about Arya and the many-faced god or whatever. They didn't give us 2 or 3 seasons where she was a devout many-faced god follower, and then for this last season, it ends with her sailing off to discover the world instead of doing something with that many. Like I don't know, man. It kind of seemed like you became this assassin for nothing in the end
Well,
of the show.
well, she done went from being an assassin to being an adventurer, basically.
from
That
from being what's his name? What's the main character's name from Assassin's Creed to Christopher Columbus? Man, fuck out of here, bro. That shit is not me. But I mean, it is what it is.
Nah, I couldn't say Christopher Columbus. More like Indiana Jones.
Huh. I guess if you look at it like that, it's different.
You know,
That's different.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I couldn't see Arya trying to subject unknown lands in the name of the North, in the name of the Stark family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
I could see Brienne doing something like that, but I couldn't see Arya doing something like that.
Hmm. All
I could
right
see
then.
the Greyjoys doing some shit like that.
Yeah.
What's his name? Theon's sister. I could see her doing something like that, but not Arya.
Yeah, you're right. I could see Daenerys doing something like that, but not Arya, not Sansa either. I don't think Sansa would either.
Now I'm gonna tell you how it could have went out a little bit better because they could have still killed nobody from King's Landing that was a civilian or that wasn't fighting for the North. But see how it would have happened, how it would have needed to happen is at that same moment when the people had surrendered, and then they were saying ring the bells. You was hearing the people saying ring the bells because they had to get the message off that we surrendering and we need to ring the bell. So whoever was the bell ringer had to get the message to go up there and ring the bells because we actually seriously having to ring these bells after not ringing these bells for so many years. And so what Cersei would have had to yell out was to not ring the bells. If she would have made that order to not ring the bells because she was still saying like, nigga, we still got a chance to kill this bitch because all we got to do is kill the dragon. Don't ring the bells. And and Daenerys heard it and then said, oh, well, this what you're doing? And then went on her tirade. Then it would have been like, well, shit, Cersei, you got us fucked up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You really got us fucked up. We was finna give up and everything because you said that one thing. Now she done burnt us all up and she done burnt you up too. And then, burning up the Iron Throne in the process. Burning up
burnt
the
up
Iron
everything.
Throne in the process. I could see that happening, burning up the Iron Throne because she wanted to break the wheel of this oppressive system that's been uh 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 subjecting us for so long. And then afterwards, after she broke the wheel, she said that she was gonna expand out and do more stuff, which was really some more war and plumbing,
That's
pillaging
crazy.
and everything else. So once she went over that edge, that's the point where Jon Snow's uh clicked off, morality, honor system would have clicked off and said, hold on, you're doing too much, bitch. And I can't do nothing else except kill you. Because I see that you really not gonna like for real deal do this shit. Nah. But then at that point, then I really think like the Dothraki and the what's his name would have killed him. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Like the way that the show ended, it ended how it ended. Maybe my ending wouldn't be no better because I'm not no film director. But
Nah.
as a fan fiction reader, as a a nonfiction reader, uh, I've read better stories than this. I pray that the the author of the Game of Thrones series, the novel ends better than the HBO series.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Just because it's a novel, they always do better. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but I feel like with novels, you have to intentionally. If it's gonna be bad, they have to put more work into it being bad than with a movie or a show or something.
Oh yeah, definitely,
I don't know. I don't know. But
definitely. I can agree. I can agree.
oh man, I don't. The only other thing I guess I could nitpick on really at the season finale that I thought was just dumb, was when Jon killed Daenerys and then Drogon came and Drogon saw. See, the whole thing with Drogon and Daenerys and Jon after Jon killed her, I didn't understand. Or I didn't know if it was A. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh man, I thought maybe Anchor closed out again, but I didn't know if A. Drogon knew or saw Jon kill Daenerys, and then instead of killing Jon, just decided to burn the Iron Throne and take Daenerys, or if B. Drogon just showed up to a dead Daenerys and was like, "What the hell's going on here?" And out of frustration, just burned down the Iron Throne and flew off with her, or C. Well, shit, not even C. Just what the hell happens next? Like you just took her and flew off. Like that shit was just dumb to me. And just the whole burning of the Iron Throne, that was a waste of 2 minutes to me. Like you didn't need to do that, but it's whatever. I get the symbolism, but that shit was stupid to me.
I mean, it ended up happening like that. I don't know why Drogon didn't realize if Jon killed her, or if he noticed that he killed her, because I don't know, because Jon was the only other dragon rider that they knew besides Daenerys, and so
Mm.
you know, I don't know. You really got to think into like the mental state of the dragon, and you may because Steve Irwin and other people like him helped us really understand the nature of
You
animals and
silly. You
everything else.
silly.
So to understand the nature of a dragon, that was his mother that he witnessed being killed after watching his brothers. I'm just gonna say his brothers. I'm just gonna say all three of the dragons, the male dragons, and after watching his brothers die before it, and then seeing his mother dead and everything else, and see this dragon rider right here that his mother loved and respected, that the dragons respected right here next to the mother that's dead. It's like it can't believe that she dead. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Mama is dead. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I gotta let this rage, this steam out, but I can't burn this nigga right here because mama would be upset about that. Fuck. I'm finna burn this fucking mile of pass of swords and everything else that look like whatever. And then burnt that and took his mother's body to go bury her in his own way or whatever. But I guess at the point that it seen Jon, it didn't label him as the threat that took her out. It just labeled him as a sad a sad individual mourning the same thing that he's mourning and can't believe it.
See, that's the only thing that makes sense to me is if what you call it? That's what does make sense. So when I was
Yeah.
watching this, Brittany was like, no, no, Eric, it's not like that. He knew that Drogon knew that Jon killed Daenerys. And I was like, what do you mean? And she had me rewind it and we rewatched it again. But it does look like if you rewatch it, it kind of seems like Drogon knows like you killed what do you call it? You killed Daenerys because he looks at Daenerys, then he looks at Jon with the knife in his hand, something like that, man. And anyways, it just made me have to rethink. Like, well, damn, did he not know that Jon
Did he
killed
have
her?
the knife in his hand, or was it still in Daenerys?
See, man, I don't think it was in Daenerys. I'm pretty sure it was something that happened that made me be like, well, damn, did Drogon know that Jon killed her? Well, why didn't he kill Drogon? But anyways, I'm pretty sure it was in Jon's hand. Like there's something with that scene where if you go back and watch it, um, it's enough to raise a question mark. Like, okay, does Drogon know or not know? Either way, like it just I don't know, man. Either way, it just goes to the writing. They could have just wrote the whole scene out better because that shit was.
And see that's what I'm talking about. They let the scenes tell the story. They let instead of letting the characters tell the story. So once again, like I said, that's the reason why, getting into the mind of the dragon, it seemed Jon is being sad and distraught over Daenerys being dead. It may or may not have noticed the knife in his hand. If it was in his hand, it just seen him as a sad dude, and that it had respect for, and it didn't want to kill him, but it had to burn something. So I don't
Mm,
know. Like I said, that's the only thing that makes sense. Because I think that if he knew that he did kill him, then he would have burnt him the fuck up. Because he would have labeled him as any other threat. Because they ain't had no problem killing anybody that his mom said kill. And if you a person that tried to fuck with her, you gotta die. So if he knew that he killed her, he would have had to die.
mm, mm. I don't know, man. Did you hear about the Starbucks cup or whatever in the movie scene? I mean the fight
Yeah,
scene?
yeah. I never noticed it, and even in the last episode, there was a couple of water bottles that was in seen on camera, and
Yeah, see, where is that at? I never saw any of it. I hear
man, they like
notice it.
super duper like you really gotta be like looking for it low key, or just like I don't know if you like high key just notice it because it just pops up there on your screen because you watching it on a big TV or something like that. I don't know. I never noticed it, but you see like people like screenshotting certain moments of it when it's in there in that last episode in a grand council when they forming talking about what they gonna do with Tyrion and what they gonna do with John. It was like it was like three water bottles in that scene.
That's weird. That's
I
weird.
mean,
Somebody told me it might have been product.
they be out the people they be out there acting. They gotta keep they throats hydrated. So like while they filming, so I can understand why that would get caught. But that just goes to people being sloppy. It goes to people being sloppy, and then they made the show sloppy. Okay, so the show had a sloppy ending. That's bottom line. Game of Thrones was a good show that had a sloppy ending.
Hmm, fair enough. Oh, well, I don't really know how much more we can comment on the sloppiness.
I mean, man, at this point, I don't even want to talk about how the sloppiness could have been clean. I just want to talk about everything in between before that. Like for real. Like even before that, like way before that. Because there were thousands of years of some other stuff happening before all this happened. I'm trying to figure out what brand though.
Hey, on some real shit, what I would have wanted them to go into depth on, or if they do ever come up with another spin-off series, they should definitely start it back during you remember the flashback where it showed them make the first Nightwalker, or where it had the guy chained up and then like they stuck the thing in his chest and he turns into ice cold and like he was
Yeah.
I really wish they would have like kind of played that out a bit more because I don't or unless I don't remember fully, but did they say they created the Night
I,
Walkers from man to protect them from man?
yeah.
Is that how that went? Okay, okay. So like, and that's cool. That makes kind of sense to me. But what I really wanted them to do was explain, like, okay, and did at what point did the Nightwalkers just decide to like, boss up and go crazy? Like just some more in-depth shit on that. Because to be
Yeah.
honest, the person who was telling that story back when they did tell it, um, even that wasn't a human. That was some weird a little creature thing that was
Well,
telling the
see, what
stories.
what what well, what happened was after they created the White Walkers to fight on their behalf because they was beginning to lose the battle, waging war against the first humans, like the not the what the children of the forest and the humans.
That's what they
you
are.
know. And so when they created the White Walker, they was using magic to create them and control them, and they magic started to not be strong enough to control them. And once they were unable to control them, then that's when they started wreaking havoc, because that was already what they was designed for, was to wage war. But you were supposed to be able to control this being. It's like being able to control the mount. I'm sorry, being able to create the mountain in the way that he was created, but unable to control it.
I see, I see, I see.
You
So
know what I'm
what happened
saying?
to Children of the Forest? Did it ever? Because I'm sitting here just like after that story, after the child or the two children of the forest told that story, I don't even remember what happened to them. Man, I thought the children of the forest was dead. Where they went or what happened to them.
Yeah, they died. They died when Bran had to get up out of there and Hodor had to hold the door. That's when
Ah,
the
so that was
last of them died.
that's what I was thinking. Okay, okay, okay. So that was with the last two remaining after that Hodor moment. That was an epic moment too, man. Figuring out why Hodor only said Hodor. That was a mind fuck, mental time skip, everything. I was like, whoa.
I said, now you know what? Now I couldn't imagine that one. Y'all really spun me for a loop with that one. Y'all got me good with that one.
Yeah, I couldn't have been a writer that came up with that plot twist. That shit. That's something I would have thought would have happened at the end of the show. That was how good of a plot twist that was.
I mean, for the moment that it happened in, it was that's how you build a moment like that. I
Yeah.
mean, you could, and even at the same token, you could have did it at the point when the Night King was about to sack Winterfell at the end of season 7, because they had to get Bran up out of there. Arya might have had to get Bran up out of there, and while she
Mm.
was trying to get Bran up out of there was a door that whole door had to hold behind or whatever. It was all these White Walkers and everything else, and he got to hold the door while they get up out of there. Hold the door. Hold the door. Hold door. Hold. That's the last thing we tell you.
Man, that's crazy. That shit was crazy. This nigga Holder fell out as a little kid saying, hold door, hold the door, hold the door. That's wild, man. You know what would have been cool if at the end, one of those times when they was fighting the Nightwalkers or the undead, we got to see an undead Hodor.
Oh man,
That would have been
I
sad and something to see.
it would have been. It would have been.
That would have. That would have been interesting.
I'd have been upset. I'd be like, oh no, not Hodor.
Damn, man. Damn,
Not
this nigga
Hodor.
off all the fat off of him. Now he just a skinny undead Hodor.
Okay, he got meat falling off of him and all this other stuff, man. I'm like, nah, man.
Man, honorable
Hey, look,
mention.
I was upset when the little girl when
Dang,
she
I
got
was just
revived
about
as a
to
Night
say
Walker.
that, man. When the giant squished her,
Uh-huh.
I was just about to say honorable mention. Shout out to the little girl. She went out like a G and took out the giant who probably would have killed hundreds more men if not for her.
Shout out to the little bear.
That shit was crazy, man. It's such a
That
small
dragon
world.
glass, huh? I don't know what was so special about it, but whatever it was, it had magic nullifying effects. I guess that dragon glass is like the sea stone in One Piece, and how it affects the devil fruit users.
What's the Maester's name? John's friend.
Samuel.
Hey, shout out to Samwell, nigga who killed the first Nightwalker in the show.
Okay.
He slick, don't get no respect, but shout out to him for that.
Man, he don't get no respect. Don't nobody be giving Sam his just dues.
Oh man, no, I meant to say this too. Another plot hole, a huge plot hole. There was one show, one of those episodes where Sam was out there. He was beyond the wall, and he was hiding from the night walkers or whatever. And then he was under or beside a rock, and then one had walked right next to him. It was the one that was on a horse and looked down at him, and then it just said it screamed out something, and then it kind of panned behind him and it showed a whole bunch of the undead like walking. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I think I know what you are. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like after that scene, I think the show, like the episode just ended, and then it comes on next week with a new episode. But I remember thinking to myself, how the fuck did Sam survive? Like, what happened in that? Did the thing just ignore him? Did
I
Sam
don't
just
know. That's definitely something to go back and rewatch, because I remember thinking like sort of like the same thing. Like Sam was, and then like the Sam again. I was like, oh okay, but like how did you get up out of there? Like you had to haul ass up out of there. Like I'm not gonna lie.
the horse would have already been on him if he even tried to run? Like that was just a huge plot hole that I remember that I was just like, and they just did not bother to explain, and it don't make sense. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I guess maybe the cold affects them bones differently. I don't know.
I don't know at all. But hey, I appreciate Game of Thrones for all that it gave me, even though I can nitpick and talk shit about it now. I appreciate it for all it gave, and it's definitely a show that I will still recommend to others. I'll just give a caveat for the last season.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell people, I'm gonna be like the last season gonna leave you with a bitter taste in your mouth.
Bitter taste, man. Oof. But anyways, I ain't got shit else to say. I ain't got shit else to talk about for real. For real. I'm trying to go see this Anthony Joshua Andy Ruiz fight and see this nigga Joshua lose. That's crazy.
Man, the only thing that I got to say, man, is that I love the whole house structure. More than a family. You got to have a house. That's what the family is. The house. That's what the mob is. The family. But the family, the house. We talking about a great house. We talking about royalty. We all young lords and ladies out here, and that's how we got to carry ourselves as noble men and women. People look down upon themselves. They got to look up. You noble. You a man with honor. You a woman of honor.
I don't know if your mom or your pops ever told you this, but I know when I was a kid, my dad used to always tell me, when you leave out this house, you represent the Bush family name. You represent me, you represent your mother, and you represent our last name. Game of Thrones was that personified. Everybody going hard for their name and the loyalty and like putting on for their name, putting the names on their back. I like that shit.
Yeah, man.
Put the city on their back. They put the family on their back, and everybody up under them. Nothing came over the family for any of them damn houses, man.
So if it had to be you or my house, I'm gonna always pick my house, man.
Yeah, 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 yep. Well, E&J podcast, blackmenloveanime.com. Another one on my DJ
Another
Khaled.
one. Another one. You should already know how to get in contact with us.
We the best.
We the best, man.
blackmenloveanime.com. Check out or hit the submit tab, or it might say contact. I don't know, but that's how you'll submit your items, your via videos, memes, whatever, and just stay tuned.
If
And
you
make
want
sure
to just, shoot us an email, just, say, hey, thanks, hey, could you talk about this? Hey, I appreciate what you're doing. If you want to just say, hey, I had a bad day, go ahead and submit. Go
submit.
ahead and submit.
Hell yeah! But without further ado, I am tapping out. Eric the Prince hitting y'all with the deuces.
Uncle Jacq, deuces.
Till next time.
Don't forget to check out blackmenloveanime.com for funny videos, gifts, memes, and other things that the community submits, and you can enjoy some of that cultural perspective that we love to give as black people. And no, it's not just for black people. Deuces.